Alright, so I've actually been working on this for a while, and Sa22c helped me out, and I've been bouncing questions off of Fredrik to get this to be viable. So I've got a new gesture prop file that I'm going to put a thread on TRA about to explain this. So the new swing on, or the quick draw swing, so is going to be now available. So you'll need a new prop file, but you also need to modify the Fuse file in common folder. And there'll be directions, and then there's actually a bunch of defines I've put in. So it's going to be a new gesture prop file, and what that means is it's actually going to give you the ability to choose which ones you want. So you're going to have swing on, you're going to have the ability to do the twist off, you're going to have the ability to do the twist on, and then you're also going to have the ability to do stab on. Now stab on is kind of a misnomer. So the stab motion is normally it's a thrust and clash, right? But that's not typical for what you want to do when you're actually doing it. So the other method that actually produces basically the same G-forces to create it is actually a sharp, quick pull back. Like, of course, couldn't do it the first time. So that takes a lot of practice. So the new prop file for my new Fett263 buttons file is going to have all of the gestures built in, and then there's a define for each one. And you can, like you see here, you can add all of them if you want, or you can pick and choose. And then of course the button still works, so it'll still use your power button as an option. But so in order to make it work though, there is a file you have to mod. Now for future updates to the OS, I've been talking to Fredrik. This will probably get fixed. So this is kind of a temporary mod. It's not worth really doing a fork over. But if you want to get the swing on, you're going to need to use or update your Fuse.h file. And again, the TRA thread is going to have all of the explanation on it. And then in addition, I've been playing with this pretty much since I thought of it last week. The idea being, the big issue, the reason for the change to the Fuse.h is that when your blade is off, the motion sensor goes off to save power. Now with your normal gestures, you could actually do request motion and get that to come back on. But swing is actually a little different. And Fredrik would probably be the better person to explain it, but Sa22c was helping me out, and we found just a change in the Fuse.h actually enabled it. I can't explain why it enables it, but it does. Fredrik explained it to me a bit, but I'll probably destroy it trying to explain it. But basic thing is the motion was going off for swing, so if your blade was off for more than like 30 seconds, it wasn't doing swing on, which made it obviously not a feasible way to activate. But now, with the change to Fuse.h plus the prop file, it stays on for you for the length of time. So I'm defaulting everything to 15 minutes while the power's off. If you want to change that, there's actually a define for that as well. Again, instructions in the TRA thread. And this way, all of your gestures, so you twist off, twist on, swing on, oops, and then the stab, which again, stab it's really, this is a stab, but obviously that's not how you want to ignite your blade. So you have to get the practice of you're actually trying to pull it straight back. And that one, I'm not that good at. So that takes some practice, but that's now going to be there too for those that like it. And it's all personal preference, so you can have all of them, you can have one of them, you can have none of them. But so there'll be defines to control which ones are active. There'll be the change to the Fuse.h file, and then go off and play as you're using it. So again, I've been beating up on it for the better part of this week, beating up on my head too, because every once in a while something wasn't working. But now it's pretty stable, it's working well, but this is, I'm going to call it like a mini beta. And then the hope is if this is all solid and working great, we'll get this moved over for the next OS update in Maine. So that's just a permanent feature. And just for those who are going to test it out, the swing, it's not just little motions, all right? So if you just move your blade a little bit, it doesn't react. It has to be a quick, deliberate swing. So if you don't do a quick, deliberate swing, it won't turn on. That's on purpose. It's just how the swing is defined. So you got to kind of get used to that motion, just like all the other gestures. But again, you're going to have all the buttons. And since this is going to be a prop file, just for those who maybe haven't used mine is essentially, it's a modified version of the default for Profi. But so you'll have all your gestures things, then you'll have your normal power on and off. You will have the volume menu, so to enter the volume menu, it would be holding your aux button while the blade is off. You'll either hear the sound for your change, CC begin sound, or you'll hear a beep, and then you can go through, and each press of aux will lower the volume. And then you can raise, you obviously can't raise louder than the what's in your config, but you can raise it with the power button. And then when you're ready to set, you just hold the aux button. And then while your blade is on, you'll have your normal clash, you'll have blast, which is aux, and then this was introduced with 4.7, the multi-blast feature. So if you hold the aux button for a few seconds and let go, you'll get a blast sound, but no blast on the blade. That's going to enter you into multi-blast. So no blast, and now every swing will deflect the blade. And that's for as long as you want. And then if you want to get out of it, just hit blast again. And that will deactivate it so you can swing normal. So multi-blast is on my prop file. And then of course you've got lockups, you hold aux and a clash. And of course it's responsive. Lightning block, some people have had questions about that. So lightning block, you hold the power button and then you just click aux. And for as long as you hold the power button, it'll do the lightning block. Drag is just pointing your blade down. This is awkward holding. Hold aux. And that's your drag. And then melt. So stab, as we showed earlier, stab is a thrust, a forward thrust, and a clash. So this is stab. And then if you want melt, melt is the stab motion, but while you hold aux. And this also, again, that thrust and clash takes a little bit of practice. So we'll do melt. Oops. And then with melt, if it's the responsive from my library, you can do the heating up and cooling down. So those are the main controls. And then also color change. For color change, while the blade is on, you'll hold aux and press power. And they'll enter the color wheel if that's what's set. And then just turning your hilt will go through all the colors. Screen, and then you're going to play, once you get to the color you want, you're going to press power, and that'll lock that color in. And I believe that's all the controls. I may have forgotten one. I'll write them out again in the post, and they're also found at the top of the props file. But so this is going to be up on TRA. There is going to be a thread, so if there's any discussion or questions, or if you find anything, let me know. Like I said, I'm calling this like a mini beta. It's not an official, but just because I've spent as much time as I can getting it to work, but I want to make sure it's perfect. And then also this will help maybe troubleshoot why that change to Fuse.h helps and all that. But so if you want to get gestures now, including that new swing on, we can get that with this new prop file, a change to the Fuse.h file, and you can go off and running. So hope you all enjoy.